Well, prominent Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew accuser Virginia Giuffre says she's in a serious condition after a bus crash in Western Australia. Police say there were no reported injuries from the crash, which was only reported the next day.
Virginia Giuffre, a name that became synonymous with courage, resilience, and the fight for justice. Once a victim of one of the most notorious sex trafficking rings in history, she became a whistleblower who challenged the powerful. But now her life has taken a drastic turn in events. She claims she only has days to live. But is this true or is it a lie? Virginia Roberts was born in 1983 in the U.S. state of California. Her family later relocated to Florida. Virginia claimed that at the young age of 7, she was sexually abused by a family friend, which led to her losing her childhood. Virginia told the BBC Panorama in 2019 that she was already too mentally scarred at such a young age, and that she always ran away from it. Later in her childhood, she was in and out of foster care, and by the age of 14, she was living on the streets where she says she found nothing except for hunger and pain and more abuse. In 2000, she attempted to rebuild her life and was working as a locker room attendant at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, when she met the British socialite Ghislaine-Maxwell. But this is where everything went wrong. Virginia claimed that Maxwell had approached her and offered her an interview for the chance to train as a massage therapist. The young girl ran to her father, who worked on the tennis courts at the resort, for permission. Virginia said that because her father knew how much she wanted to rebuild her life, which was why he got her a job there. She recalled exclaiming, "You won't believe it, Dad." When Virginia arrived at Epstein's home in Palm Beach, the man was lying down, completely naked, while she was instructed on how to massage him by Maxwell, and all the while they were asking her about herself. To the young and naive teenager, they seemed like nice people, so she trusted them and told them about her prior abuse, how she survived, and how she was trying to rebuild her life. She even told them about being run away. This information had been vital because young Virginia had just admitted to being in a vulnerable state to two people she did not know that well. She told the BBC News that was probably the worst thing I could have told them, because now they knew how vulnerable I was. The supposed job interview turned into years of abuse for Virginia as she couldn't find a way to escape. In 2021, Maxwell was found guilty of recruiting and trafficking young girls for Epstein to abuse. And while Mrs. Giuffre was referenced on many occasions in court, she was not one of the 4 women who testified in that case. Maxwell has denied assaulting her. In 2015, Mrs. Giuffre filed a defamation case against Maxwell after she accused her of being a liar. The case was later settled. From being abused by one person to being passed around like a platter of fruit among Epstein's powerful associates, Virginia was taken around the world on private jets. When she was only 17, Epstein brought her to London and introduced her to Prince Andrew. A now famous photograph confirmed that as Prince Andrew stands with his arm around Virginia, with Maxwell smiling in the background. Maxwell told the 17-year-old that after visiting the nightclub, she was to do for Prince Andrew what she did for Jeffrey. "It was a really scary time in my life. I wasn't chained to a sink, but these powerful people were my chains," she told the BBC. Mrs. Giuffre alleges that the prince sexually abused her 3 times that night at Maxwell's London home, and later at Epstein's home on Little James in the Virgin Islands. But in 2019, all these allegations were denied by the prince, as he said he had no recollection of ever meeting Virginia. And in response to her account of them having sex in the US and UK, that it didn't happen. The case was settled out of court in February 2022, with Prince Andrew making a substantial donation to Giuffre's charity supporting victims' rights. But the allegations forever tarnished his reputation and reignited global scrutiny of the royal family. By 2003, Epstein lost interest in Virginia because she was too old for him. Virginia somehow convinced the wealthy financier to pay for her to get training to become a real professional masseuse, which he did arrange for her to take a class in Thailand, but she was to bring a young Thai girl that Epstein had arranged to bring to the US. Lucky for her, Virginia instead met a man who she married 10 days later and moved with him to Australia to start her family. She now lives with her 3 kids on the coast of Perth in a large house. She is now at the center of one of the world's most high-profile legal battles after launching a civil case against Britain's Prince Andrew. Epstein pleaded guilty in 2008 to state prostitution charges and in July 2019 was indicted on federal sex trafficking charges. Prosecutors accused him of carrying out a decades-long scheme of sexual abuse of underage girls, flying them on private planes to his properties in Florida, New York, New Mexico, and the US Virgin Islands. He died by suicide in prison before he could face trial, while Ghislaine-Maxwell, Epstein's longtime girlfriend, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. But her troubles don't end there. Virginia was in a fatal car crash. A social media post from 4 weeks ago suggested Giuffre was in Perth in early March. Western Australia police said on Tuesday there was a report of a minor crash between a school bus and a car in Neargabby, north of Perth, on 24th March at about 3 p.m. The collision was reported by the bus driver the following day, a police spokesperson said. The car sustained approximately 2,000 Australian dollars worth of damage. There were no reported injuries as a result of the crash. WA police confirmed a 41-year-old woman was in the car. And that woman just so happens to be Virginia Giuffre. This year has been the worst start to a new year. I won't bore anyone with the details, but I think it important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving 110 kilometers as we were slowing for a turn, no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be a tin can, she wrote in a post on a social media post on Sunday, along with a photograph of herself lying in a hospital bed with a head injury. I've gone into kidney renal failure. They've given me 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology, she said. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies one last time. But you know what they say about wishes. She claims she only has 4 days to live. Her father, Sky Roberts, also commented on her post, saying that he loved her and was praying for her speedy recovery and to get the right treatment for a long and healthy life. But what he didn't confirm nor deny was Virginia's claim to only having 4 days to live. In a statement, Giuffre's representative, Dini von Muffling, told The Guardian that Giuffre had been in a serious accident and is receiving medical care in the hospital. She added, she greatly appreciates the support and well wishes people are sending. Over the years, Virginia Giuffre has faced intense scrutiny and backlash. She has been called a liar and accused of seeking sympathy. Critics claim she is once again fabricating her story for attention, while others, however, believe that the weight of her past trauma has led her to this point. Despite the divided opinions, one thing is clear. Her journey has been nothing short of harrowing. Now, as she battles for her life, the world is reminded of the human cost of her courage. Her legacy is one of resilience, hope, and the unwavering belief that justice is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Our thoughts are with Virginia Giuffre and her family during this difficult time. And how about you? Do you also believe that this woman is faking it for the sympathy of others, or do you believe that she truly has days to live?